So here's an interesting thing that researchers showed, this is according to trends.com, that you now have 9.7 more competitors versus 2.65 years ago. So that, talking about being noisy, that's a really interesting stat, because it means pretty much, I mean, this is give or take, there's 5 times more competitors for you to deal with. And that is a scary stat. And we talk about it being noisy online, you can see why, because everything is more competitive now. So let's talk a little bit about storytelling a virtual stage. Again, this is educational, so I'm not going to go and tell you a massive story. I'm just going to give you tips and pointers. Feel free to take pictures of the slides or anything like that. If you are going to share them on social media, just tag us at Speaker Express. But there's some key aspects of why we're talking about storytelling, because if you think there's there's 5 times more competitors than 5 years ago, everybody's online. The one way to stand out is through storytelling. The one way for you to stand out is storytelling, because if you tell your story, no one can compete with it. If you're a good storyteller, again, you'll stand out. And actually, the same stat that Trends gave us with the competitors talked about the way to stand out is through brands and storytelling. So let's talk about why and how that's important. First of all, another interesting stat for you is it's 20 times more memorable when you use a story. So I was sitting here going, do I tell a story? Do I not tell a story? And the reason I'm not telling a story is because of time. And I wanted to get this information across for you. People immediately go on a journey with you. There's a story for each audience. So what you want to start thinking about is having a repertoire of stories for the different audiences you speak in front of. So often we train the 5 key stories every entrepreneur must be able to tell, right? So you've got your credibility story, you've got your personal story, you've got your business origin story, you've got your success stories, and you've got your vision and or mission, right? So if you take those stories, and they can pretty much be tailored for most audiences. And the reason that will allow you to stand out is because they'll be unique to you. Now, you need to be able to tell them in an engaging and impactful way. However, just even starting to think about those repertoire of stories will really make a difference to how you stand out from the other competitors out there who are all saying the same thing. The other thing, of course, it awakens the senses visually, auditory, our imagination, it captures us. So stories are essential. A lot of people get stuck in content creation, which is important, but people want implementation and they want an experience and they want connection. And one of the greatest ways to do that is through the use of storytelling, not through more content. What were the 5 again? Helen, the 5 stories were, I repeat them, the 5 were credibility, personal story, business origin story, success stories, and your vision and or mission. Yeah. Rashma, can you type that in the chat room for people, please? Thank you. So awakens the senses. Also, of course, if you want to be and have an engaging, impactful story, set the scene, right? Really set the scene. And then within that, you need some form of conflict, right? Because we relate to conflict. And of course, if you look at the big movies and big stories, and there's always a big conflict in there. There's always something coming, right? And then once you've resolved the conflict, how did you move forward? What tools did you use? How did you find that depth to move forwards? And again, layer that emotionally, not in a way that people are going to feel sorry for you, but you layer emotionally to capture, to enroll, right? It's not about creating sympathy. It's about either creating empathy or magnifying why you're that go-to person. I want to make that clear. And you use stories for that. That is essential. Yeah. So then, and what was the ending? Was it happy? Did you reach a powerful conclusion? Did you walk away? And how did you rebuild should be in there as well. So that's a really interesting structure to think about just to get going. Set the scene. It was a beautiful day, or everything was going right with me. I had the most successful year in my business. I had clients. I had money. It was great. And then I moved to Australia. I followed a girl to Australia. This is a real story of mine. And then she pulled me aside and said, by the way, I'm dumping you for a billionaire. And then I was like, what? For a billionaire? I felt humiliated. I felt terrible. I felt horrible. I stood on the cliff on Bondi Beach looking, to jump, and I was suicidal. And then I remembered my big why. Do you see? And you have that all there. So then I really trained myself. on how to deal with my inner conflicts. I then mastered NLP, and now I'm happily married with two beautiful kids. No, I'm not a billionaire. Sorry, Clinton. I wish I was, right? By the way, if I was a billionaire, I'd still be doing this, just for your record. So, what was the ending? Make sure your stories are relevant, they're enrolling, and they're relatable, but relatable to the audience you're speaking in front of. That's the thing. That's the key. So, having the repertoire of 5 stories, yeah, will help you do that. Cool. Everyone give me a thumbs up. Everybody got some insight, some information there. Give me a Y in the chat box because I can't see all of you, but you get some insight. So really think about the stories that will get you to stand out. So get you to stand out from that 9.7 people out competitors you've got to go against. Think about being relevant, enrolling. It's relevant to your audience. It's engaging. It can be emotional. It doesn't have to be emotional, but it gets you to stand out from your competitors. And that's really what I want from you today for this part of the educational piece. Now let's talk a little bit about how to be confident online. Yeah. First things first, get technology savvy, people. You got to know your mics. You got to need to know the light. You need to know the platforms. You need to know the cameras, right? You got to, the other thing to do, and this is where a lot of people get it wrong, is I'm talking about if you want confidence, it's about physical positioning, sitting on the right part of the chair, getting your back ready, or standing up to present. That will make a difference. Look level to the camera. A lot of people end up doing looking down or looking up, and that is actually breaks the confidence. Smile. Hello. We love what we do, right? We're doing this because we love what we do. And, just allow yourself to beam up, light yourself up also physically and also mentally, right? So light yourself up, look good. Today I interviewed someone all about colors in my podcast. It's very fascinating. Make sure you're wearing the right colors too. I'm going to take my jacket off soon because I'm really hot under here. Engage from the start. When you all arrived, I greeted everybody. I said hello. Also, I'm making sure that I'm using the chat. Can you see that? Give me a Y, give me a thumbs up. That will help your confidence. You know why? Because if people are putting thumbs up or they're putting Ys in the chat room, that means people engage in listening. If I'm going, give me a thumbs up and there's nothing, then I'm like, ooh, that's going to damn my confidence. Yeah. So always use questions to help that engagement as well. Right? Here's where a lot of people again get it wrong is they'll practice their talk, but they won't practice it with the technology. And the important part in these day and age to be an engaging, confident online speakers, you've got to practice it with the technology. You need to practice what could go wrong. Yeah. And when I'm speaking, I am seeing all of you plus. So I'm seeing a whole load of people smiling at me. And that makes me feel confidence. That makes me feel good about myself. So you need to use mental imagery just as much as you use, like, as I can see some of you on the camera. The other way, of course, to do it, by the way, is to stick a picture that makes you smile, that always makes you feel warm. Maybe it's someone you really fancy and, it's Brad Pitt with his 6-pack out, or, someone like that. And you're looking and going, hello. And you're going, oh, let me talk to you. I'm going to present to you. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Right. And then you're really confident because, of course, Brad Pitt's looking back and going, yes, I want you. And you go, yes, I feel confident. Yeah. And the other thing, of course, is get used to blank faces or no faces. So it's interesting because when I've done really big talks, 250 plus, and you get to the point where you really can't see everybody's faces, even when you're scrolling along, you're just seeing, names and stuff. And at the end of it, I found out that people loved it. They're really engaged. They connected. So don't take it personally when you don't see faces or they're looking blank. People are processing. People are looking at things. We're on screen. It's hard to read the facial things. So just get used to it and, in a way, get over it and just show up, be energetic, be vibrant, be lively. See Brad Pitt looking back at you or whoever it is for you, right? Feel good, light yourself up, position yourself well, know your content, practice with it, and you'll be confident, right? This is what I'm saying about visualizing, and have a plan B if things go wrong. That's the other thing. Can you connect from your phone if it goes down? Do you have a team that can pick up if for some reason you can't get on, right? And the last thing I want to say very quickly is you got to give people an experience. They need to feel that they've got something that they were connected with and that they cared about, and the person that was speaking really wanted the best for them. Because that's what's going to get you stand out again from the nine, from your competitors, is giving people a great experience by attending something. It's very easy to switch off now, isn't it? It's very easy to switch. Like you can just go. right? It's not like you have to get up and leave the room. So giving people a great experience is what will stand you out from your competitors and give you confidence, right? So that's in a nutshell, both confidence and storytelling. What I want for you before I introduce our next speaker is I just want to see what was your takeaway from that. So what stood out for you, if you want to type it out, what stood out for you, what you're going to use and everything like that. I'd love to see that in the chat room. Or if someone wants to quickly jump on the mic, I'm happy to do that. But type away in the meantime. Brad Pitt. I love the way you took Brad Pitt. The 5
Can
stories.
I jump on the mic quickly?
Yeah, go for it.
I am a very author in December. So what you said, a lot of what you were saying, I'm like, I've got there, I'm there, but it's how to present myself.
Right. So what you need to do.
So I've written the book, got the story.
Yeah. And
yeah,
so it's
carry on. I didn't want to jump
Sharon.
on, but I just thought on. So I thought I
no,
want to sort
absolutely.
of jump on and say, but because you said someone can jump on, I thought, yeah, do it.
First of all, well done on
so
getting your book out there.
I've got